Page 13, Sandpiper on the Beach. On page 12, they're introducing you to a type of ornament. We have ornaments in music. We haven't really gotten into them yet, but ornaments are things that just embellish or make the music sound a little fancier. Yeah. Back in the Baroque times and before Middle Age, they used ornament. Blah. I mean, they were like nuts on ornaments. And then it's kind of calmed down a little bit. So ornaments have evolved like everything else. People don't agree on how ornaments should be played. Let me make that clear right now, so be careful. If you say, I'm doing it this way, somebody very well could say, no, that's not right. You should do it this way, because people don't agree. That's just the way it is. It's unfortunate, but it is. Now, this grace note they're talking about on page 12, it is a little note, like an eighth note, little one, and it's got a line through the stem. It's usually got a curved line telling you to slur it into the next note. You connect it to the next note. Now, there is another type of ornament that looks exactly the same as a grace note. It's called a chocatura, and it's played a little differently. I'll cover them both here because you need to know it. There's nothing in the music that's going to tell you one way or the other. The music looks exactly the same. So, on a grace note, there's different ways of playing a grace note. It is a quick little note in front of the note. Look on page 12. You see that first line of music? You have a D sharp and an E. Well, the D sharp is just real quick before the E. Just real quick. It's not done rhythmically or anything. It's just a real quick note. Or the C, G. Doesn't matter what the note is. The point is, it's a quick note before the main note. We want to hear the main note. You can go down or here, like that. Just a quick note. Sometimes we crush the note, so what's called crushing the note. And when you do that, it depends on the music, what the music needs and the style. When you crush a grace note, you play the grace note and the other note at the same time, but release the grace note and hold down the main notes. Here, these two notes at the same time, but I'm going to release that note. It's not done rhythmically. You just immediately release the note. That's how you crush it. For the part people don't agree, and chocatours and all that junk. Generally speaking, grace notes, and some people will say it's not generally speaking, it's all the time. What are you talking about? Well, nothing is all the time in music. So generally speaking, grace notes are played before the beat. So the main note comes on the beat. So in Sandpiper Beach, in the first measure, we have this. We have a D, a B, an A, a G, and an E. We're going to play all of these with 2, 3, 2, 3. So I'm going to use 3 on the main note, like here. Well, those notes would be on the beat. So it would be a 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are on the beat. And that's how most people play grace notes. I don't usually play grace notes that way. I play them as chocatours. Those where the little note is actually on the beat. So it's 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. But you still, the big note gets the emphasis, just the little note is on the beat. All you're doing is delaying the melody just a hair because of the little note. If I crush them, I'll play them at the same time. It's a different effect. That's interpretation. So you have to experiment with these and see what you think. It wouldn't hurt you. It's good exercise to try all of these out. You ought to be able to do this with the left hand too. It's unfortunate that they're only doing it with the right hand, but we'll deal with that, I guess. So let's look this Sandpiper thingy over and see what we got. It's 1 page long. Treble and bass clef, 1 sharp in the key signature. We're in the key of G major. Make sure you're doing the G major scale. And the G major arpeggio, too. Yeah. A 4/4 time signature, and we got a bunch of eighth notes and grace notes, too. As I said earlier on, a grace note is an ornament. It's just one of many ornaments. So when I first learn a piece of music, I leave out the ornaments. I'm not interested in them. I only play the main notes. But I'm going to go ahead and use the fingering as though the ornament is there. So here, it's just going to play the quarter notes, but I'm going to use third finger on them. And then second finger. It's good exercise for you, if you want to, is to use third finger. The problem is this is a rather quick piece, and if you can't do that quickly and under control, then you got to use 2 and 3. Second line, same idea, different notes. You're here, and you have to look down at the keyboard because you're moving around, but just memorize the notes. You're fine. Yeah. Then the third line, same as the first. The second line, same as the second. Now, in the last line, we have to be careful. When I glance at it, I think, okay, I'm just playing the same notes in different octaves, right? Except when you look at the music, that you're not. They change. You're up here. It has an 8 VA over the first measure, so instead of here, you're up here. And you're here, and then in the next measure, you just come down to a D. And then in the next measure, it's an E. And with the chord, if you play all these notes together, you got this chord, and this is the chord you're playing. It's just, you may have to memorize this because you got to look at the keyboard you're moving around. But if you just understand you're playing these notes in the chord, then just play this chord coming down. Here. Okay, you don't have to go that fast, of course, but that's it. And the left hand, fortunately, the left hand's not doing that much because the right hand's busy. You have these and these. Which fingers you use to play these is up to you. You can do 2, 3. I should say the bottom note first. 3, 2, 4, 2, 2, 1. If you do 2, 1, the thumb's got to do both. That's probably the easiest because your hand's not moving. If you're doing this, you're not moving either. If I do this, I'm moving around a little bit. You pick a fingering that works for you and pencil it in if you need to and stick with it. Now, when you pencil in the fingering, you don't pencil in the whole piece. You pencil in the first line. And you just remember what you did and you do it the same way throughout. So put the hands together and it's here. Whichever fingering I'm going to use 2 and 1 here because I can go here. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You get the idea? That's basically the piece. Again, you don't have to go that fast. Just take it at your speed and then get rid of any hesitations you got anywhere. Then we'll think about the articulation. And when I do the articulation with a piece, that's when I add the ornaments. I mean, you can add them anytime you want. I just combine the ornaments in with the articulation. So we have staccatos on these. So, like here, and the ornament is just a 2. Here, just real quick. That's it. That's basically it. Now, once I have that, then I go back and add the dynamics. MP is mezzo piano, which is sort of soft. That's the melody, which is the right hand. So you have to decide what sort of soft is. What is kind of soft? Keep this left hand very soft. You get down to the last line, all of a sudden you get a loud. Forte is loud. So you're going to be loud up here. Now you have the hairpin. Don't get soft to the last measure. So plan this out. Just a little softer. Right. And that softer is softer than you were at the beginning. This is soft. Now the left hand is very soft. Yeah. That's sort of the dynamics. Yeah, experiment with them. See if you can feel these dynamics a little bit. Then the speed. Well, lesto, they tell you up above, quick and lively and fun and all that. You won't see lesto very often in music. Actually, I don't remember ever seeing lesto before. That's how often I've seen it. So whatever. Just know that you can always look it up, but they tell you what it means up above. Quick, but it has to be accurate. So just have fun with this. Sandpiper on the beach. So somebody's on the beach. I guess they're tiptoeing or something. I don't know what they're doing here, but whatever. That's my attempt at lesto. It's close enough for me. You pick a lesto that works for you. It's got to be accurate, so don't go faster than accurate. Then they add the pedal. I like it without pedal myself. I think it's just fine, but they've added pedal. Why are we adding pedal? Well, the only reason I can think of is they want the overtones and they want to connect these. They want to connect them. You can't connect them without the pedal. I like them better disconnected, but if that's what they want, okay. It's going to be basically the same as we've been doing. You put the pedal down. On this one, you can put the pedal down with the note or slightly after it because it's kind of quick. You may have to put it down with it or you might miss the note. So here, and then lift it up before you go to the next measure so there's a little bit of silence there is all. So in the second measure, it's here, and then push it down. So I don't pedal until the left hand plays here. So at the beginning, it's... That's basically the pedaling. Now don't copy me, please. You get into it and you make it yours. Now remember the natural accents here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. Remember these. We want to feel these as we go through this. Because these eighth notes, if you don't do something with them, it's like, what's going on? So feel that 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All the way through. Yeah.